Howdy there, folks. So, I am going to preface this one. This is by no means a super traditional focaccia. Main reason being, I am not a very good baker. I can do the bare minimum, but if you're expecting a really traditional kind of focaccia, I'm very sorry to disappoint. This is more of a midway point between a focaccia and a standard bread. But trust me, it is super delicious, and it is light and fluffy and moist. It's also very easy. Now, I'm doing mine with caramelized onions, so let's start there.
So for this, we're going to use red onions. Now, a very handy tip when prepping red onions is sometimes underneath the main skin, you will get this small silver skin. Take that off, it becomes way easier to cut and will make your life 10 times easier. Now to a pan, we put a knob of butter, a drizzle of olive oil, and add all of our onions. Now it looks like a lot, but that will sweat down quite a bit. We then add some salt, let that sweat down. After about 10 minutes of cooking, we add 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar.
Once our caramelized onions are done, set them aside, let them cool, and move on to the dough.
So for the dough, here in the bowl, we have 500 grams of strong white flour. To that, we add 7 grams of instant yeast, 10 grams of salt, and then 320 milliliters of lukewarm water with a tablespoon of olive oil. We then knead, and we're going to knead this by hand for about 10 minutes. If you were using a machine, you do it for about 5 minutes. And from there, this is where you can see it's not a traditional focaccia dough. It's more like a bread dough, but it is still very light and airy. And then we pop that into a oiled bowl, and we put some cling film on it. And now you want to leave it in a room temperature place for about 20 minutes or until it doubles in size. We then pour that into our roasting tray. We flatten it out to the shape of the roasting tray and add our caramelized onions.
Okay, big whoopsie. I forgot to record a fairly important part of focaccia. So before you put it into the oven, take your fingies and just dot them around the dough to create little indents. There, just pour a little bit of olive oil on it, sprinkle of sea salt, and then whack it in the oven.
Into an oven at 200 for about 20 minutes to a half an hour. And then we've got a lovely light and airy focaccia. And then you just drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the top, some more sea salt flakes, and then cut and serve. And that is my very basic focaccia.